What's up, my glorious little grapes? This is Rob from Gay Guy Plays, and today on The Daily Grind, we're back with another installment of Rob reads your shit that you don't want to read yourself, and it is officially here, the first hotfix of 2020, and there is a lot to go over. Now, if you watched yesterday's video, we did allude to some of the changes over there. However, I did go through and kind of like graze through some of the notes, more likely the changes and fixes area, because I just wanted to see if there was anything specific that I wanted to highlight from there. However, the rest of it is completely and utterly fresh. I don't know, but we've got some numbers to go over, so let's go ahead and jump on in. As you can see, this was posted by our favorite Ginger Ninja, D.E. Megan, in period of our Prime 27.0.9. Happy New Year, Tenno. Nothing quite compares to starting a new year when it comes to contextualizing our journey so far. 7 years ago, almost to the day, we found ourselves reworking Ember, redoing the Ember model entirely. These update notes are a blast from the past, and every January we start off with a build that aims to address as much as possible from the holidays without having our players wait too long for fixes. So here is the first of many hot fixes for January 2020. We do not have an ETA on other updates as we are focusing on hot fixing at this time. So as you can see, RailJack additions, changes, and fixes. They have halved fighter armor. Enemy fighters in RailJack have too much armor, meaning your RailJack weapons just don't feel great in the time it takes to kill an enemy. All fighter armor values have been halved, with a slight boost in health. Listen, I was just drinking Coke Zero. Do not shame me. Do not Coke Zero shame me. With a slight boost in health for non-elites to compensate. So armor values down, health bumped up just a little bit. So the flak has gone from 300 to 150, elite flak 350 to 175, Tactis 250 to 125, elite Tactis 350 to 175, cutter 250 to 125, elite cutter 300 to 150, outrider 800 to 300. That's a pretty decent chunk. Elite outrider 800 to 400. The health value changes: flak health 250 to 375, Tactis health 200 to 300, cutter health 200 to 300. Now, my thing for this is these all seem to be base values. Of course, as things level up, it's going to fluctuate in those numbers, so just take that with a grain of salt. So our intent is to make RailJack weapons more effective on their own. As such, Rhino's Roar and Saren's Toxic Lash no longer unintentionally affect RailJack weapons, as per DE Marcus's post here. So if you did watch yesterday's video, you knew that none of that was supposed to have any kind of effect on the weapons. Again, why I didn't post any videos on it. All battle avionics are now potential drops from elite fighters in deep space. Also, with new permanent markers on avionics, you'll now ensure none go unclaimed because you'll see them. Battle avionics rarity was exacerbated by the units they dropped on. Adding drops to elite fighters should increase your chances of acquiring one. We want to see the effects of these new drops before making additional changes. So munition, and here's for me, from my own experience, I play pretty much exclusively in the Veil. So there were things like Munition Vortex, Countermeasures, Blackout Pulse. They're not available there. They're only available on Earth and Saturn, and I didn't really care to play those nodes. I want a challenge. So it's nice to see that these ones are going to go onto the higher level ones. But we've got Munitions Vortex, Elite Exo Tactis, Elite Gyre Tactis, Countermeasures, Elite Exo Tactis, Elite Koshma Cutter, Elite Gyre Cutter, Blackout Pulse, Elite Exo Tactis, Tether, Elite Exo Flak, Particle Ram, Elite Exo Cutter, Shatter Burst, Elite Exo Flak, Seeker Volley, Elite Exo Cutter, Void Hole, Elite Exo Flak. Adding the Void Hole to Elite Exo Flak should make it significantly easier to acquire due to their spawn rates, but we will continue to watch the drops in case they need further changes. And then Fiery Phoenix, which is Elite Exo Cutter. They also have weapon proc adjustments. See, here's the thing. Yo, I was telling you, I was ready to make that video, and there was something in my mouth that would not let me make the updated elemental stuff video. This probably doesn't change any of it, but I feel a little bit better holding off now. So the idea of one damage type to rule them all is one we want to avoid in RailJack's early days. We are rebalancing aspects of certain damage types to ensure there's balanced choices. The armor changes in conjunction with this is a combined effort of finding the right place for all damage types, not just one leader. Please bear with us as we navigate this particular space. With your help, hopefully everyone will get to put their favorites on their arsenal to use. So they've decreased the effectiveness of the particle proc but increased its duration. So reduced the 7.5 damage bonus per hit, still stacks and lasts 20 seconds. The exponential growth and short duration meant that this was far more beneficial for rapid fire guns than anything else. So for those of you guys who don't know, the particle proc is actually, I believe, the slash proc, which made enemies weaker to the damage that you dealt to them. So basically you hit them, they became weaker, they became more susceptible to further hits. And then they increased the effectiveness of the incendiary proc but decreased its duration. Double the damage per tick but half the duration. Same total damage but in less time to feel more relevant. I like that as well. Pulsar series. Increase the, wait, what is this? Okay, this is the weapons. Increase the base range, increase the fall off range. These extremely precise weapons were having trouble competing with the other options available. Increase the damage by about 10% and increase the effective range should help give them a more viable role. I actually ended up dropping the Pulsar series completely because I felt like on the side guns, like you were just shooting enemies that were way too far away. Maybe on the main guns, they might be okay if you combine it with particle ram, but really, like, I don't know. That's just my personal opinion. Photor series, increased fall off range, extra range, and these also benefit indirectly from the improvement to incendiary status. So these ones are actually the dual laser ones. So for those of you guys who wanted to use a little bit of a laser beam, give these ones a shot. The Cryophon series, reduced damage and increased fall off range. No! Reducing armor values of enemies made these capable of killing every enemy in a single hit. This brings them back in line with the intended time to kill. Please bear in mind we're actively watching player stats and recollecting feedback and are willing to iterate on balance. I'll have to put these up on the pilot's guns and see exactly how they feel now. Zekti House, reduced heat accretion for all Zekti weapon variants apart from the Cryophon. The house trades more heat for more damage, but it felt like they were too hot for the amount of extra damage you got compared to the baseline weapons. Zekti now offers 50% more damage for double heat instead of quadruple heat. Yes! This one's a really interesting change. They have completely removed the rush repair drone from the market. We're removing the option to buy the rush repair drone and leaving it only as a reward earned at the end of a mission, no longer an in-world drop due to security concerns. We are doing this based on feedback that as purchasing option it feels unfair of an advantage. While technically it abides by our rule of pay for time, it bypasses a huge segment of the RailJack resource value. You can still pay to rush repairs once contributed resources. You can no longer outright bypass the entire experience by purchasing the item from the market. We will continue to use rush repair drones as a reward, just not as a market item. Not bad. Like, I like being able to rush things. It's really, for me, the time. The resources weren't as bad. But I thought that DE was also gonna address the whole resource issue. We'll see. Let's see, double the chance of obtaining wreckage from end of mission rewards. This increase will help you acquire more pieces so you can pick and choose what you want to keep. However, we needed to reduce the chance of obtaining relics to accommodate the wreckage increase. Ooh, I don't know how I feel about that. I feel like I get a lot of wreckage just flying throughout already, so part of me is like, increasing the wreckage? I mean, I guess I don't really care about relics either. Let me know how you guys feel about that change down in the comments below. What's more important to you, relics or wreckage? Permanent in-world markers have been added to avionics and salvage in RailJack ship when they drop. Are they showing a photo of it? No, I don't think they are. This will allow you to always know what remains on the field of battle and how to navigate accordingly. Adding awareness to the important loot has been a huge request, and this visibility increase should make sure no loot is left behind. Aside, we are reviewing vacuum range. Asterite resource pickups now reward 2 times as much Asterite. I was getting low, so thank you. Asterite costs for wreckage were going a bit too slowly, so now you'll earn it in twice the rate. Your squad overlay is now visible in various RailJack modes, pilot, weapon, etc. Okay. And what do you call this? There's been consistent expression that seeing my squad status is important. We have now ensured it's visible when piloting, gunning, etc. We have added some new iconography to show your player states. So that'll actually tell you where they are on the ship. Added squad status for missions in the overlay. These icons now show what your squad mates are doing, including pilot, gunner, cannon, omni-tool, arc-wing, at point of interest, engineering, fighting a boarding team. Wow! They're really they're getting into it in slingshot and cruise ship, or just messing around on the RailJack doing nothing specific. For that one, we should have a kick mode. We should be able to, oh, you ain't doing nothing? You need a kick. Get out of here. Now, this is the one that I wanted to highlight because this burns me, because I was like, maybe I should have put my back into it a little bit. But intrinsic points can no longer be gained once all available intrinsics are maxed out. If you already are above the maximum, your additional points have not been lost. So that means that we can't pre-work our way into the command intrinsic anymore. The RailJack minimap is now always visible, better centered the RailJack pilot HUD diamond, added new force feedback to all weapons and missile launchers. Off-screen space enemy markers in Arcwing now show awareness state filled. A lot of these ones are just into the fixes. But let's see if there's anything else that I wanted to go ahead and highlight from there. Also, I'm going to go ahead and add a, link down in the description box below. But to be completely honest with you, I'm not looking or seeing anything that is a massive change. There are some general changes as well, and the main one, of course, being Wisp floating as she is using her weapons. So that's basically it. At least when I was taking a look at it, there's a couple armor placement issues, but beyond that, I wasn't seeing anything that was like, we're not fixing the whole thing where you get launched from the slingshot and you only have your Arcwing melee on. Or, oh, we haven't fixed that black screen of death yet. But hopefully these patches will make it so that those things are no longer in place. I have no clue. We'll see. Regardless, let me know about everything that you've seen here. The dramatic changes to armor values, the resource boosts in certain cases, all of this. Will this make you want to jump in and play? I know that definitely later today I will be streaming to see if all of these feel good on a personal level, and that about does it for me for now. So as always, love somebody, hurt nobody, and touch your body. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.